So I'm going to give you a choice today.
Okay.
Do you want to do rapid fire, or do you want me to ask you a personal question?
Ooh. That's a good personal question.
Okay, Kirby. So I have so rapid fire.
Welcome to Unscripted with Kirby Hasseman and Bill Petrie. In this weekly podcast, Kirby and Bill talk about the world of marketing, branding, and promotional products. Unscripted is available only at promocorner.com, the leader in digital marketing for the promotional products industry. Now, here's Kirby and Bill.
And welcome to episode number 201 of Unscripted. I am your co-host, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the field marshal of fashionable face masks, who's dancing while I talk, the one and only Dr. Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the Fauci are you?
I am doing okay. I'm doing all right. Actually,
Okay.
one of my topics today, we'll be discussing that. I'm doing all right. I feel like, some things are starting to get back to some, like, I shouldn't even say normal. That's just silly. But I feel like I'm back in my office by myself right now. I like that a lot. So that's good. So there's some good things, but yeah, it's still a weird time. How about you, man?
Same here. Weird time. I feel like every week is kind of, I blink and it's over with right now. Whereas a month and a half ago was every week was the longest year of my life. But producing all the content and all that, it just everything's going really fast right now. But you know what else makes things go fast, makes things easy for you, Kirby?
What's up, Bill? Thank
you so much for asking. We're good pals over at commonsku. We've talked about commonsku in the past. They were designed, they were designed and built for distributors by distributors. That means they absolutely and you're wearing your commonsku SKU Camp. Is that SKU Camp shirt? It is SKU Camp shirt.
Yeah, SKU Camp. Absolutely.
It means they understand the promotional products industry and the challenges the modern distributor faces. In this weird time, their tool really helps keep your sales life organized, right? Because you see all your projects in one place. If you're on track to hit your sales goals, which probably have been adjusted, and it's going to help you do that as well. It's going to stay you on top of the tasks needed to move those projects forward once things get rolling again.
Yeah, the reality of it is, I think it's more important than ever that we be proactive in a meaningful and sensitive way,
right.
But being proactive. I think so many people are going to end up coming out of this having wasted 6 weeks. And those of us who have been proactive, hopefully will come out on the other side in a different spot.
Well, you can only stick your head in the sands for so long. And maybe that's a topic we talk about a little bit later today. But, like we've talked about so many times, from ideation, invoicing, commonsku helps you and your team stay connected through all stages of the workflow. So if you want to learn more, and now's really a good time. I wrote about this earlier this week. Now is a really great time to look at your business. Now that you're not busy with the things you want to be busy with, probably not a lot of the sales activities, probably not a lot of the follow-up activities. Now is a great time to look at your business and see how you can improve it. So once everything gets back to whatever the new normal is, you can pivot and be ready to hit the ground running. We talked 2 seconds ago about sticking your head in the sand. Now it's time to pull your head out of the sand, realize we are going to come out of this, and where are you going to be in that race?
Yep.
Where are you going to be?
Man.
And commonsku can absolutely help you that. So go learn more at commonsku.com. You're not going to be sorry that you did. Now, Kirby, I want to thank you for having the courage to start another 200 of these with me today. Do you have a topic you'd like to begin with?
Yeah. So this is one that I feel like, we always talk about things being tone deaf if we miss kind of big topics.
Yep.
And one of them has to do with content for me.
Content. I don't know anything about that, Kirby.
Yeah, well, but a little bit different. And this is why. So I don't know if you've been watching The Last Dance, which is the Chicago Bulls story of the last year that they were together with Michael Jordan and Rodman and Pippen.
I've watched the first 2 episodes. I have episodes 3 and 4 recorded and ready to watch at a time of my choosing.
Yep, absolutely. So that's actually kind of the interesting part of it, I think, to me, is that this is the first time that there's been sort of a phenomenon recently where it's like, it's must-see TV. It feels like everybody's talking at the water cooler about it, right?
The virtual water cooler, as it were.
Exactly. But on the other side, it's scheduled.
Yes.
It's not Netflix. It's not binge when you want to watch it. You'd have to record it, or like I am, and you know this about me, I'm an early to bed, early to rise kind of guy, right? And so when that thing, if the goes episode at 9, then there's a second episode at 10. Episode at 10, I'm usually going to bed.
Yeah.
but I've been staying up because I'm like, I really want to watch it. And it's the first time in a long time that there's been a show like that for me. Like, and maybe there are for other people.
Yeah.
But for me, and I guess for me, it shows the power of Michael Jordan.
Right. No,
because all these years later, to me, he's must-see TV. And the idea that it's done on a schedule, not whenever you want, is fascinating to me.
Yeah, no, it's I've watched first 2 episodes. They're great. And what I like, it's smart. So whereas Netflix and Amazon Prime, they will release a season of something and you can watch it on a Saturday.
Yep.
I think what ESPN and ABC are doing is actually pretty smart because they're parceling it out. So you can they're doing 2 at a time. So not stretching it out for 10 straight weeks. They're doing it for 5 and 2, 2, 2, 2. Again, I think we're all, not all, we are a sports crazy nation for the most part. We're starved for sports. We talked about it earlier this week on the Unscripted Live happy hour with Jason Lukash and Mike Simzak about, the ESPN showing a virtual horse competition, which was horrible, but at least they tried something. There's all manner of classic games on, it seems like, all the time right now. So I like the fact that they're kind of parceling it out, but it is probably the one thing most people are talking about from an entertainment perspective, and it's interesting.
And again, many people, if you're not a sports fan or you didn't care about that, what's fascinating to me is I lived through it, so it's a cool combination of, I remember that happening, and I didn't know that.
I'm actually surprised how much I'm into it because I don't like basketball. I mean, it's just not my thing. It's never been my thing. Yeah. So, but I think it's done very, very well.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I just was, again, the idea that it's almost gone back in time that, hey, it's on at 9:00. Yeah. Like that's just not something that's normal for me anyway.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right, Kirby. So in another indication of the era in which we live in, the Small Business Administration had a data breach. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't.
It just, of course, right?
Yeah.
Nearly 8,000 small businesses that applied for emergency relief had their information exposed to other applicants.
Great.
We can't get a damn thing right in this country. It seems like sometimes. So I wanted to ask your opinion as a small business owner, and not asking you to share if you have applied or have not applied. That is not anybody's business but your own.
I'll share
but if you were to apply, if you put yourself in the position of having applied, would that concern you?
Well, sure. I mean,
because I've got your business. I've got all your information right here.
Yes. Well, there's not much to it. No, you know me. I'm a pretty transparent guy. We applied for the PPP funds. I actually wasn't planning on doing it, but I have an advisor with the Small Business Development Council that I meet with once a month. And I told him my plan. I'm like, I think I'm good. I'm going to ride this out. And he's like, Kirb, we don't know if his words to me at the time were, we don't know if this is going to go Memorial Day or Labor Day. And I was like,
that's a big stretch.
You know what? Maybe I will apply.
Yeah.
And so yes, I did apply. And then, of course. I mean, obviously if there's a data breach now, I think it's one of those things where if it were one of those moments where I got somebody else's information and it was that, then I'd be like, hey, banker, you sent this the wrong thing. And I would delete it and go about my business. Yeah. If it's a data breach where there's a hacker, it feels different. But.
And I agree. I couldn't agree more. We cyber criminals are always going to be doing these things. In the era of the COVID-19 and the pandemic we're in right now, does it concern you that there are opportunists? And because I've seen situations where, a lot of people aren't driving their cars, right? We're sheltering in place, safer at home, whatever you want to call it. And car thieves are having a field day, apparently, breaking into people's cars because they're sitting. Yeah. So does that concern you?
No.
Okay.
Because
and what's your address again?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I think that there are those sort of things are unfortunately going to happen. And I think that
you're always going to have opportunists.
Well, not only opportunists, but I think in these times there are people who are genuinely hungry. that are genuinely struggling. And those are the times when people act out in a desperate way. So, and PS, again, I live in a pretty low crime area. So I'm blessed in that way. But on the other side, by choice.
Yeah, no, I get it. Look, as Charles Dickens once wrote, desperate times call for desperate measures, but we were not advocating thievery or crime.
Not at all. Not at all.
Kirby, you got another topic?
I do. And so I kind of alluded to this sort of in the open.
You're grumpy.
A little bit more. And I think I'm struggling in the sense, and you know this, I'm a pretty positive guy. But I wrote my note over here. Is it just me, or are people on more edge than normal? So for us, and I'll just speak for us, I felt like we were going along pretty good, and we were having fun with creating content. We were having fun at home. And around Easter Sunday, I don't know what it was, but we all, like the whole family, just decided to be pissed off at the world. And then it got a little better. And then now I feel like it's back into another one of those things. I told you this sort of off air, but I thought I'd bring it up. Like literally, I am doing a job where we did a mailer, and I took it to the post office to do a mailer, and I'm wearing my mask.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy walks up to me and says, "What the hell do you think that mask is really doing?"
Yeah.
And so, I tried to be diplomatic at first. And I said, hey, if it can do anything to help stop the spread of the virus, I feel obligated to try.
Right.
And I was like, here's my way of just, whatever. Well, he kept coming after me.
Yeah.
And so I finally was like, hey, I didn't effing ask you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in arguing. Get out of my face. And I'm like, and so literally I went 100% right now.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, dude, this ain't Facebook. I can punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. so your angry Kirby makes an appearance at the post office. So to answer your question, are we more on edge? Absolutely. I'm feeling it. I'm trying to find joy in things, but it's not happening naturally. I'll be very honest with you. I have to look for joy sometimes right now. And I don't like to admit that, because generally I'm a pretty positive person. I can be a sarcastic son of a bitch, but I'm generally a very positive person, and I see the bright side of things. The other night, and I do the majority of cooking in our house. And so last weekend, I've told you this story off air.
Yep.
I made a declaration of, I am not cooking this weekend.
Yeah.
I want to cook. So I said, I want to eat clean. I said, I'm laying off the booze for about 5 days. That's boring to me now. I don't want to drop. Let's eat clean. I want to get some sushi.
Yep.
We ordered sushi, and I went to go pick it up. I had my mask on. I go into the establishment. It's not curbside pickup. It's go in and pick it up. And I'm waiting, and it seemed like a long time. Part of the problem was Sandy called it in, which I generally do, but she called it in, and you're talking through a mask, so everything's muted and muffled. And I didn't, there was also a Mandy and a Candy waiting for sushi, as fate would have it, but whatever. So I said, where's, is my sushi, is it almost done? And he said, oh, he's making it right now. And he points over to the sushi bar. Well, in comes a guy with cut off jorts and a t-shirt, no mask. And he leans over the sushi bar, over where the sushi chef is, who's wearing a mask, over the sushi chef, over the sushi that they're making for me. And he goes, man, I bet you guys are ready to get back to work. I mean, he's having a conversation, we're ready for all this to end. But all I kept thinking was, this dude is just like goobing all over my sushi. And I said, hey, excuse me, do you mind? That's my sushi he's making. And he turns to me, looks at me. I'm wearing a mask. Everybody else is wearing a mask but this guy. He says, oh, you're one of those guys. Oh, he goes, oh, you're that guy. That's what he says. Oh, you're that guy. And I said, yeah, I am that guy. Get away from my sushi. I said, just because you don't wear a mask and don't care what happens doesn't mean the rest of us want to inhale your germs. And I made him remake my sushi. So I'm on edge too. And that's something I normally wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And I'm on edge. I think the kids are on edge.
Well,
Sandy's definitely on edge because she is a speech language pathologist in the school district. And so now that school is officially over, she's got a million reports to write. She has to conduct meetings with parents virtually. And those are hard meetings to have anyway, because you're telling a lady or parents how little Susie isn't saying things properly, and she hasn't made the progress we'd hoped. And this, you're having very difficult conversations with people, all virtually. I think we're all on edge. And so, and I do think, and I kind of joked about earlier, I do think the fact that I think we're all drinking more. I think all of us are drinking more than we normally would because we're either bored or it's just a nice little escape. I think that adds to it. And that's why I've dramatically cut back on like a little. You want to know a little secret, Kirby? Is anybody listening?
Nobody's listening, actually.
Nobody's listening. On Unscripted Live Tuesday, that was club soda and a lime. Thank you.
Nice. Nice. Well, it's everywhere though. I was looking at a post this morning, and it's in a group that talks about the history of our community, and it just went off the rails with people arguing. And it's like, these are like old pictures from Coshocton, dude. Like, can we not argue about everything? So I'm glad it's not just me.
No, I think the entire country's on edge, and I think what we all need is something that brings us together. Do you know what can bring us together, Kirby?
What's that, Bill?
That'd be the good folks over at Promo Show. You know, it's the industry's first and only industry trade show. Super important these days. Takes the edge off as you're trying to make not only professional connections, but also personal and emotional ones with people we've known for years in the industry, and time to make new friends too. We have over 130 exhibiting suppliers with hundreds of distributors visiting every day. This stat we found out this week. Since the launch on March 24th, so just a month ago, we've had over 7,500 visitors, accounting for well over 30,000 page views. That's amazing. So go ahead and visit promoshow.com. You're not going to be sorry you did. It's the entire industry virtual. All right, Kirby.
So cool.
All right. Speaking of alcohol, so there are brands that are winning the battle during COVID-19. So obviously, alcohol sales are on the rise.
Yep.
As people are sheltering in place and things like that. Very interesting what booze is selling, and specifically in the beer category, Kirby. This is
I saw a headline about this. Yeah,
okay, well, so this is a familiar topic for you then, beer, near and dear to your heart. So, White Claw and other seltzers through the roof.
Yep.
Miller Lite up 14%.
Yep, I'm helping with that.
Modelo up 7%.
Interesting.
Miller High Life, the champagne of beers, up 7%. Michelob Ultra and Natural Light, both up 17%.
Yeah.
And here's the shocker, Kirby. Up 44%. Busch Light.
That would have been I said Busch Light with you.
Why? Why would it be Busch Light? How would you even know that unless you read the article?
You had mentioned all the other people that in my mind would be up. And
but Bud Light's not even on here.
Yeah, because Bud Light's terrible and it's expensive. But no, it's bad. So if you are a Miller Lite, Bud Light, any of those, Busch Light's cheaper than them, and it's really not a discernibly different beer. Like if you I'm telling you, if you drink Miller Lite, if you drink Bud Light, I actually think Busch Light is better than Bud Light.
Well, you've always hated Bud Light. You have
That's because it's bad.
You have a whole thing against Spuds McKenzie. I'm not sure where that came from, but anyway, I just thought it was interesting. Now, have you tried any of these seltzers, Kirby? Have you tried the White Claw? Have you tried the Truly?
I think that we had some Truly at my house, so I've tried that. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's light for him.
Yeah. So I've tried the White Claw. I don't love them. I've tried the Truly. But I picked up a 12-pack of the Corona
hard seltzer
brand.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Really? Okay.
Actually, really, really good. So, not a plug for a Corona hard seltzer because I'd like to buy it myself.
Yeah. Well, really quickly though, one of the things you and I talked about this is that the craft beer stuff is not necessarily, you're not seeing the big spike in some of that. Part of that's accessibility, right?
Part of that's accessibility, and I think part of it's also the heaviness too.
Right. Agreed. Which is, I think, one of the reasons that the beers you mentioned are all up. Those are all because you're drinking more of it, right?
As I was on a call yesterday, and David Schultz was on the call, and he said, "I never thought I'd see Bill Petrie drinking a hard seltzer." Well, Bill Petrie needs to watch his calories, his caloric intake.
Yeah, I put on Twitter the other day that how's your quarantine bod looking? Mine's looking like I have a great personality.
Yeah, no kidding. Tell me about it. All right, Kirby, got another topic for us?
Yes. So this is a question I've asked my wife, and I asked a couple, my accounts receivable person. We were just having a conversation.
And now you're asking me.
I am. I've sort of had this thing in my head wondering, I think I've heard of people saying that they've sort of had epiphanies during this. Hey, this has changed my, life. I've had to look at everything differently. Maybe they don't want to do the life they've had. Yeah. Maybe they want to whatever. So I'm curious to know from you, just based on the stay-at-home stuff, what will you see differently? What will you do differently? What will you feel differently about when this is over? And I have opinions about this. If you want to
it's a deep question. I just want to. Yeah. I'm absorbing your question. Yeah. So what will I think you'll have different. Hopefully, people will be nicer. I really have a hope that people will kind of stop a little bit and not be so rushed to accomplish things, and maybe think of the people along the way. We've said this from the beginning. I think every organization will have a legacy after COVID-19, how they handled things. And so you want to make sure you protect that. I wrote about that this week in my blog. So what do I think will change in society? Are you talking?
No, I'm talking about for you. How will you feel like, and let me explain. So one of the things I was proud of when I really thought of this myself is I was like, I actually am I built my life fairly intentionally. I don't know that I'll be like, oh my God, I see things differently. Yeah. I think the things I love, I'm going to appreciate more.
Yeah, I'd say I'm kind of in that category. I don't see a radical shift in my worldview. I haven't felt that way at all. I haven't felt like my political leanings, whatever they may or may not be, have shifted at all. I don't feel like my tastes in music have changed. I don't feel like my love of human contact has changed. Right. I miss it. I miss touching my friends and giving them hugs and high fives and slapping them on the back or whatever it is. I don't see any of that changing. I think the only thing I can see personally for me changing is just making sure I'm respectful, just because I may feel, okay, this is over, I'm hugging people. I want to make sure that I'm aware that other people may not feel the exact same way. Right. So it's going to be probably a couple stutter stops. There's going to be a lot of these like, jiggly Joe, do I hug you? Do I shake your hand or whatever? But besides that, no, I don't think I'll be changing at all.
Yeah. For me, like I just was thinking about the things that I really enjoy doing. I think, travel, I enjoy to travel, especially with my wife and my family. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy that more.
Yeah. Right? I think we'll all appreciate those things more.
All those things, the things that I liked, I think I'm going to like them more. And so that's the big takeaway.
Well, yeah, I think the things and I've said this a million times, we as Americans are hardwired not to like our freedoms being taken away. Sure. And we've had a ton of freedoms being taken away. And so as those freedoms return, and this is my biggest concern, by the way, if I can flip this a little bit. Yeah. So as we start getting these freedoms back, I do worry about another spike in cases, which would necessitate a second round of shelter in place. And I think, whereas I'd say 95% of people complied with that first time around, I'm not so sure you're going to see that level of compliance in round two, if there is a round two, and hopefully there's not. So we don't like our freedoms taken away. So as we get them back, I do think we'll appreciate them more. Getting on a plane, driving in the expressway, walking into a store without a mask on, those things I will appreciate more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Cool.
All right, last one, and then we go right into the other parts of this podcast. So Dave Schultz, I don't know if you saw this, he did a tech talk this week on promocorner.com. Where he's talking about virtual meeting etiquette. And so I thought I'd jot down a couple of things because it's pretty funny. So when you think of virtual meeting etiquette, I want to know the immediate 90 seconds before you have a virtual meeting, what you do. So here's what I do. I look around, is there anything weird behind? I look at my hair. I always look, and I actually was able to do my hair today, which is the first time in a week.
Congrats.
So, yeah, much excite. So I look at my hair. What am I wearing? Do I have anything in my teeth? I test my microphone to make sure it's coming out of this microphone and not the one here, because the camera makes me sound like I'm in a Jack in the Box drive-through. I make sure I have a glass of water because I always get parched when I have these meetings, and I make sure my desk is pretty free and clear of anything that would embarrass me.
No, I like that. I'd
so
say
your immediate 90 seconds before a Zoom call.
Yeah, I'm probably, so I think that the microphone, the camera are the main thing. I like to have the camera on. Occasionally, and I don't do this on everyone, but I will pull up QuickTime.
Yep.
So that I can see what what everything looks like on camera.
Yep.
Right.
I do that. Yep.
Not every time, but I do that sometimes. And then I DND my phone.
Yep.
And make sure that my ringer's off on my other phone. That's really,
okay.
That's about it for me.
I still test every single time I get on a call. I test the audio and the video every time. I'm sorry, the audio coming in and the audio going out every time.
That's again, you're good. I do think
I'm anal. I'm anal retentive. I'm always nervous that something's not going to work right.
It's funny because my wife's been attending Zoom meetings as well, of course.
Yeah.
And one of them is like the Rotary or Coshocton Rotary meeting. Yeah. And they're, one of the pieces of Zoom etiquette they always tell you is don't eat. Right?
Yes.
Don't eat in front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lunch meeting.
Yeah.
So. So don't, I guess do it at a different time if you don't want to see people eat.
The other one I thought of, and this isn't 90 seconds preceding a Zoom call. This is during a Zoom call. Is this?
Oh yeah, people typing,
pounding on the keyboards.
Yeah.
So, all right, Kirby, good topic. Good topic. Whatever. I'm done.
Yeah. Words.
I'm content boy, and I'm contented out right now. Okay, so we are now at the time of the podcast. We talk about the promo person of the week, dedicated to that one person, several people, a group, a gaggle, a murder of crows, if you will, dedicating to people who are getting our attention in the promotional products industry. Their affiliation doesn't matter. Their age doesn't matter. Nothing matters except the fact that they're doing good things in promo. Kirby, it is your week. Hopefully you have one. If not, I will have a backup.
Nope, I'm on it. No, it's funny. Each week when we go to think about this, I try to just be like, okay, who have I been paying the most attention to online? Who's gotten my attention? And, sometimes I don't go with the first person, but often I do. And then I try to understand why. So this week, this is a person who has been the voice of reason on a bunch of topics that I feel like he is spending time to educate himself and be reasonable, both. And this is difficult because he's talking some politics, but he's talking about COVID-19. And I find myself when I'm thinking of posting something or talking about it, I'm like, what will Dale Denham think? Yeah. Because I believe Dale has been a voice of reason through much of this.
That's a great
and
one.
I appreciate that. And I've never told him that. Like, it's one of those things where literally I've thought about bringing up a couple topics.
Yeah.
And, I don't want angry Kirby to show up and be dumb Kirby, because that, emotional arguments can go the wrong way. And Dale's done a great job, I think, of educating people on this and how it was going to be a serious thing. Yeah. And then just allowing for other opinions. And so I just admire that. I think it's really hard to do on social.
And he might be, I think he's a 2-time winner of the virtual high fives, which are more, perfect now than ever. Perfect. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. I've seen a lot of his stuff online, and I do agree. He's definitely a voice of reason, and he does it with a little tongue in cheek sometimes.
Sure.
But he's definitely a voice of reason, and I always appreciate Dale's perspective. He's one of the smartest guys in the room, no matter what room you're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
All right, Kirby. So, dealer's choice. So I thought a lot about this. and I've obviously leaned heavily on rapid fire because I love rapid fire.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a choice today.
Okay.
Do you want to do rapid fire, or do you want me to ask you a personal question?
Ooh. That's a good personal question.
Okay, Kirby. So I have rapid fire. I don't have a personal question.
Okay, really rapid fire.
I'm sorry. I will try to do better. I will try to vary it up. I've just been having so much fun with the rapid fire.
I like rapid fire. That's why I was like, well, this would be different. So that's cool.
I will do something different next time, I promise. I enjoyed our rapid fire with Mike and Jason the other night. You could not handle my rapid fire.
No,
you actually walked away. So we've talked about how we're all sheltering in place. We're eating a little bit more. We have a little more proximity to our pantry. probably all feeling a little more doughy than we would like to. And it got me to thinking, I know you're a fan of the Doritos. You like Doritos. That's one of your favorite snack chips. And so I want you to pick, these are wacky Doritos flavors from around the world.
Oh, okay.
We did this with Pringles once.
Okay.
We've not done it with Doritos. So.
Let's do it. All right. I'm excited.
So I'm going to give you two choices, Kirby. There's no wrong answer. Just pick the first one that comes to your mind. It's just kind of a reactionary thing. Okay. Are you ready? Hey, Look at Kirby.
Yep.
All right. Corn soup or clam chowder?
Clam chowder.
Okay. Crispy salmon or coconut curry?
Crispy salmon.
This is three.
Yes, all of these sound gross, but awesome.
Garlic, black garlic, or anchovy and garlic?
Garlic.
Fresh basil and smoked fresh ham pizza or winter crab pizza?
The first one sounds pretty good.
Fresh basil and smoked fresh ham pizza.
Yes.
Wasabi mayo or tuna mayo?
Wasabi mayo.
Soy sauce butter or savory butter?
Soy sauce butter.
Fondue or cheese and almond?
Cheese and almond.
Yeah, I'd go with fondant on that one.
Yeah, that was. I thought sure that'd be the wrong answer.
Yeah, yogurt mint or olives?
Oh, olives. Yuck.
You go with olives?
Yes, yogurt on a Dorito.
Well, it wouldn't be. I'm not gonna say the moist. It wouldn't be moist with yogurt. Tomato and onion salad or ketchup?
Oh, tomato and onion salad, I think.
Tacos at midnight or fish taco?
Tacos at midnight.
Sausage or smoked bacon?
Smoked bacon.
Steak or gold Peking duck?
Oh, steak.
Sesame chicken or fried chicken?
Fried chicken.
Cheeseburger or cheeseburger supreme?
Cheeseburger.
Correct. If you had selected cheeseburger supreme, you would have been wrong. No one wants to taste powdered tomato, powdered cheese, powdered lettuce on a corn chip. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what people do want, Kirby?
What's that, Bill?
They want to succeed in the post-COVID-19 economy, and one of the ways that's going to help you do that is commonsku. As we talked about earlier, it's designed and built by distributors for distributors. It keeps your sales life organized, and it's really going to help you pivot your business. So if you haven't explored commonsku yet, now is the perfect time to do that. All joking aside, it really is the perfect time to do that. They have people who will help you. They have a team that cares. Gosh knows we've talked about that for so many times, how much the people at commonsku absolutely care about the success of you and your business. So go ahead and visit commonsku.com. You're not going to be sorry you did.
Absolutely. Big fan.
Kirby, I think we're done. I think that'll do it.
Thank you for listening to Unscripted with Kirby Hasseman and Bill Petrie. Unscripted is available every Friday at promocorner.com, the leader in digital marketing for the promotional products industry.